What's up, guys? Like I said, I was going to make another video kind of going more into depth, and sorry for the lighting. It's wrapping up for the day, and it's getting dark out, and lighting in the truck, I don't really want to get too bright in here. But like I said, I was going to make another video to go deeper into what I was talking about earlier. I didn't really have anything prepared, so I kind of just winged it for the most part. Now I kind of have, if you could see a little bit, I wrote a bunch of stuff down, like the most important things I thought you guys would need to know in order to be successful out here, once you get rolling. So it's kind of going to be all out of order. There's no particular order that I want to go in. I just want to touch on like the most important stuff. So first things first, I would say the most important thing would be have a student mentality. Kind of driving as as a student, and as much as or as much as you might pick up, never get that mindset that you know enough, or that you know too much, or you know it all, because you never do. And I think that's a lot of issues with the older guys and the older truck drivers and the experienced guys, is they feel like they know it all and they can't improve, and they either get too comfortable with their situation or stagnant, or they end up getting in a wreck. A lot of times, if you, I know once you guys get in your truck and you're rolling, and you get to get used to the road, you'll notice one thing is when you're going down hills, you'll notice Kenworth and the Peterbilt guys, those are usually the older guys, and the veterans go down the hill like 100 miles per hour. They're flying past you, and that's because they're comfortable. They've been doing it for so long. But that's also dangerous, because they don't have that student mentality. They don't have the mentality of somebody who's new. They feel like they know it all and they're comfortable, and that's how you wreck, is guys going down the hill 100 miles per hour. And don't just take it from me. I mean, I'm still a new guy, but if you talk to any of the wiser guys, they'll tell you, if you've been around the game long enough, if you get too complacent, that's how you get hurt. So learning every day is crucial. In my opinion, and looking at everything is a learning experience. Like I said in my last video, taking everything with a grain of salt at the same time, but being aware of your surroundings, learning that your blind spots and stuff like that is huge. I have also on here, I have understanding your macros. Now, macros, if you go on your Qualcomm, is like kind of like an automated message system that you got to learn. You guys will at least hear about it once you get in your truck or whatever. But macros is like, really can't really tell you. It's kind of something that you just have to see for yourself. It's like an automated message system within the Qualcomm. So you can report like a breakdown. You could say either you arrived at a stop, like you arrived at the shipper, departing a shipper, loaded call, which means you got loaded up, empty call, which means you just dropped the load off. So there's like a macro for pretty much for every situation. So as you go about your day, you have to, put in your macros. So when I start my day, I'll do like a pre-trip inspection. I have to send a macro in the system to say that I did a pre-trip on everything. Once I get to a shipper or receiver, I got to say, in the macros arrived, and then once I get loaded, I got to put a loaded macro. So you just being familiar with your macros is super important, because I feel like no one really said anything to me about the macros. No one really kind of taught me about it. It was kind of just a thing that I had to pick up on the road, which is really annoying, but I guess that's a part of the game. Understanding DOT, understanding what a DOT officer is going to look for when he stops you. There's a handful of things that you want to have kind of equipped already. And that's kind of one of my things that I got to go over, because I'm not really too informed with the DOT regulations and all that stuff. And it's probably the most important thing in trucking that we really don't go too much into if you haven't like learned it in school or whatever. I think that's huge. Knowing what things on your truck that can get you a ticket or get you a DOT violation, like that whole DOT aspect of it when it comes to driving legally. I just think that as a truck driver, we need to know a good amount of that information in order to keep ourselves safe, because when you get a ticket, that doesn't go necessarily against the company. If it's, an officer's writing a ticket for you, that goes against you. So you're carrying around all these tickets, and you go to get a job or somewhere else, or you go to open up a business and you try to get insurance. All that stuff is going to come back on you. So you want to make sure you protect yourself, because like I said, this is all going to come back on you. I put on here sleeping situation. I think that driving or pretty much essentially living in a truck is, you're cutting yourself short if you don't spend a little bit of that extra money to pamper yourself in terms of sleeping. Because if you don't take care of your body, if you're not sleeping good, you're just not going to have a good experience overall. You're not going to be able to wake up on time. You're not going to be able to wake up and feel energized. Like me, I bought a couple of the Tempur-Pedic, like those Tempur-Pedic pad things, and I put them over my bed because when I sleep, like, I want to really get a good night's sleep, because, you don't get a lot of it, and when you get some of it, you're going to really, want to, sleep in and sleep good. So I think that, at least for me, that's super important. Anything I do, I want to make sure that I have a really good night's sleep so that the next day, I'm able to reset. I think the next one I'll go over is mechanics. And a lot of people that get into trucking in general don't have a good knowledge of maintenance and automotives and how to maintain or how to fix or how to change anything that has to do with a truck or a car. I think that when you get in the game, I think that it would be valuable if you, because we're in the information age, so you're able to obtain information super easily. So learning about trucks, even if it's just a little bit, just to understand what's going on and how things operate, I think is essential. I think that if you learn about how to fix things or how to, spot something when something's not right or broken, and just familiarize yourself with everything on the vehicle, the more you know, the better. But just having a good understanding of what is everything supposed to look like, so that you're familiar. You're not going into this situation completely blind, just in case you do get stuck or you do need to, put something together, whatever. You have a good knowledge of what you're looking at. For me, I already came into the game having a little bit of background in automotive, so being able to point things out comes natural to me. But I think that's something, if you don't already know, you should definitely pick it up. Understand your truck in particular. I think that your truck in particular, you really need to familiarize yourself with everything that's there, and what stuff is supposed to look like, and how to identify issues with your truck is important, because that could be life or death situation. You can be leaking something that you really don't want to leak, and end up wrecking, and that can cost you your life there. Also, taking care of your truck. Yeah, it's not necessarily your truck, but you're going to learn very quickly that your truck operating is super important to you making money. Because if your truck breaks down, yeah, you don't have to pay for it, and it's not really your problem, but it is your problem. Your truck breaks down, that's 5, 6, 7, God knows how many hours goes into fixing the truck or maintenance in the truck. And now you're sitting and you can't get loads done, and you don't make any money. So if you're able to take care of your truck and spot problems before they turn into bigger problems, then you're definitely going to be better off. I put on here a couple like hygiene things, like comfort. I think that having comfortable clothes, and not really dressing in like the business attire. Like, I was always the guy who thought, like, truck driving, anytime you hear truck driving, you think of, oh, that guy makes a lot of money. But anytime I saw a trucker, he was always like, he looked like a bum, and had slides on and shorts, and he just didn't look like he had money. But really quickly I realized that's not the case. It's more so you're going from being comfortable to having to get out your truck and move within a snap of a finger. So you're going from your comfort zone in your house pretty much to going right outside anytime you need to go grab something. So it's just being comfortable with yourself, and being comfortable Food and water. I think that, anytime you stop and, stock up on those things, because the more you have in your truck, the less times you have to stop during the day, which is stopping really kills your clock. And it doesn't seem like that, but once you stop a bunch of times during the week or a bunch of times during the day, it all adds up by the end of the week, and then your 70-hour clock is depleted because you want to stop a million times. Hygiene. I think hygiene is huge, because when you're driving a truck, you can really lose track of your hygiene and taking care of your body and taking care of yourself. And, time flies past and you realize like you didn't do this or didn't do that, or you're not exercising or just taking care of your body, because that's all going to come into your results. Your end result, is going to be affected if every day you're eating this food and that food and fast food, and you're not doing your push-ups or your sit-ups or whatever to stay fit and stay active. And, next thing you know, you wake up and you just feel like crap, and, it can really take its toll on you. Now I'm going to kind of flip the script and go more into money and how you're going to be able to pad your paycheck a little bit more. And this is kind of like my personal experience on what I felt like helped me excel at what I'm doing. Now, when you get a load, you get a kind of like on the breakdown of the load, you'll have a pickup time, the address, the phone number for the receiver, and then you'll have the same type of information for the shipper. Now, one thing that I noticed that my trainer did, and that I feel like a lot of other drivers do, is, for example, say if the pickup is for, today or whatever, I pick up today at the scheduled time, and then my drop off is 2 days, 2 days from now. Guys will drive the whole way and then realize, like, I don't have to drop off for another 2 days. I'm just going to sit here and relax until my drop off time. That is just the worst thing to do, because, in my opinion, because I pick up my load, and if I'm there the same day, I'll drop that thing off same day if I can. I always call the shipper and call the receiver. Call them and say, hey, can I pick this up early? Hey, can I drop this off early? If you do that, you're able to knock off a load, the whole load in one day, and move on to the next load. That all you're doing is making yourself more money. Guys are really sitting there and they'll go to their truck stop and wait and till the time that they're supposed to drop off, or the day they're supposed to drop off. That's foolishness to me. I'm just going to be proactive and call these people and see if they're available for unload, because a lot of times it's drop and hook. So they just say, hey, come over here, drop your loaded trailer and go pick up an empty and be on your way. Or maybe it's a live load and they could squeeze you in. But always call, because if you call, you're able to understand the situation, if you can or can't get that load finished up and then be on your next load to make more money. Like I said, ignore drop off. I completely ignore the drop off times. I didn't even look at them at all. I just, as soon as I get the load, like today, this load that I just got finished up with, they said this load wasn't even going to be done. Like, they had our trailer. They said this load wasn't going to be loaded until 1 o'clock in the morning. I got there like 3 o'clock in the afternoon. They weren't supposed to load it till 1 o'clock the next day. The trailer was already loaded. So I came there, picked up the loaded trailer and dropped it off. And based off the paperwork, based off my load information, they're not even supposed to load it till 1 o'clock in the morning tomorrow. So I'm completely done with this load. Now tomorrow I'm going to be on my next load. You know what I'm saying? And in that sense, you're able to get things done a lot quicker. Next thing I got posted on here is finding somewhere somewhere safe to sleep, and then being safe in general. Now, I think that if you don't plan your day out really well, things become very difficult. You'll realize what I'm talking about once you start driving. But once you drop off a load, maybe you only have like an hour, maybe 45 minutes left to drive time, and you don't know where you're going to sleep at. You don't know where your plans are to stop. It could get you jammed up pretty quickly. Driving around for a couple hours to find somewhere to sleep is definitely not the situation you want to get yourself into. So plan out your trip if you can, and you're going to be tight on hours. Just plan it out. Plan your whole day out. And then I think my last thing that I'm going to talk about, because this video is kind of getting long, don't stop rolling. When you do get a load, I would say stop one time, and that's for your fuel stop. I don't stop to grab extra drinks or grab extra food. I only stop one time, my fuel stop. So I get my load, pick my load up. My fuel stop, I do everything within my fuel stop. If I got to shower, if I got to eat, whatever, anything that I need to stop for, I do within that fuel stop, because that fuel stop is something that I need to stop for. Besides that, I do not stop. The more times you stop, the more time you're wasting, and that's the more money that's coming out of your pocket. So keep it rolling. Don't stop unless you absolutely need to. Even then, I still don't stop. I just keep on rolling unless there's something wrong with the truck. So I'm gonna try to keep the videos coming. If you guys have questions, just keep keep commenting like you guys have been, and I'm gonna try to upload more. And sorry for this long video, but there's a lot of stuff that I didn't talk about in the first video that I really wanted to squeeze out and put in this video. So thanks for watching, guys, and make sure to like. I see you guys are subscribing, so keep subscribing and keep commenting. Appreciate it, guys. Later.